Hi everyone, this is Joy with Create It with Joy. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am part of Kraftgali's video blog for new stamps and dies, and I am so excited to be part of this. I am making two slimline cards today using uppercase letters essential alphabet dies and the stitched scallops 2-in-1 slimline essential dies. These are really fantastic dies. I really am in love with the stitched scallops 2-in-1 slimline dies. So I'm going to show you what these two look like. Here are the slimline dies. You get what looks like 3 sets of frames, but you get 2 separate things in each frame. So for each frame, you get like a scalloped edge frame, and then that inside piece is a scalloped edge whole solid piece of cardstock. So you get those in different sizes, and then you get 2 what looks like sentiment strips. Here are the alphabet dies. This is the uppercase letters essential alphabet dies. You get the alphabet and you get a frame around it. So that I am really excited about. So I'm taking the largest frame, and so here's what I was talking about earlier. You get the scalloped frame cut out, and then the scalloped panel, the whole center panel. So I'm going to be using both of these, one on each card that I will be making. So to start off this first card, I am inking up this background with Distress Oxide inks in Picked Raspberry, Carved Pumpkin, Squeezed Lemonade, Mermaid Lagoon, and Mowed Lawn. Now, I wanted this to look like a piñata in the back, like piñata colors. So I Googled piñata colors, and this is where I got it from. And I'm just going in the order of the fun piñata that I found online. So Mermaid Lagoon is the first color, and then Mowed Lawn. And I'm just going to blend those two together, and then I will go back and keep blending each color. This is a slimline base 8.5 by 3.5. There's no scallop on this at all because we are going to be using the white scalloped frame that I showed you earlier. So I'm going to continue to blend. Now I'm on to Squeezed Lemonade, just getting a nice blend of each color, a good transition between each color. Now definitely leave comments. There is a giveaway, 2 gift cards, I believe, 2 $20 gift cards. So definitely hop along on the video hop today, and I will have the next person you're supposed to hop to down in the description below here. And then tomorrow, there will also be an Instagram hop. So you'll want to start at Kraftgali on Instagram and follow along on the Instagram hop for fun inspiration on this new release that they've got going on. Okay, so now I also did Carved Pumpkin, and I am finishing with Picked Raspberry. Again, just getting a nice, beautiful blend. I think this background turned out so super fun. It is so colorful. I am using Lawn Fawn's Year 9 stamp and die, and it's this cute taco. I have not used it yet, and I just thought that would be so much fun with the piñata colors, and who doesn't love a taco? I mean, I just could eat tacos every single day of my life. And I'm doing some Copic coloring. I did stamp it with some Simon Says Stamp Intense Black ink. The Copic colors that I am using are R24 and 46, YR09 and 04, 24, Y23, 08 and 02, RV21 and 14, G09 and 28, B16 and 04, E59 and 29. Now I am coloring 4 tacos. I did end up only using 3. I'm coloring 4 party hats and 4 candles. I end up using only 3 of the candles because I'm only using 3 of the tacos, but I did use all 4 party hats. I'm coloring everything except for the candles the exact same. I love tacos. This was so much fun to use. I was so glad I've had this cute little stamp set forever from Lawn Fawn and just have not been able to use it. The Copic markers that I'm using for the party hats and the candles, I want to keep those in the same color families of the inks that I used to blend on the background. So I'm using pinks and yellows, blues, oranges, and greens for the party hats. I wanted to keep all the colors, again, in the same family, keep it simple. I didn't want to add, even though I'm using a lot of colors, I did not want to add a ton more colors. So the green that I used for the lettuce, I'm also using in the hat. A little bit of that orangey yellow I'm using from the tacos, I'm also using on the hat. Trying to keep it as simple as possible. This is a very colorful card, so that part has been fun. When I'm all done coloring, I will use the coordinating dies and die cut all these images out. Now that that is done, I've also got my letters cut out, and here I want to show you, this is the frame that you get around the letters. So you get the base letters and then you get the frames. I do want to say these die cut letters, I love the font, really super simple, but I don't know, there's something about this font I really, really like. So what I'm doing to get dimension is I cut multiples of each letter 3 times, and I'm gluing them together with some liquid glue. That gives it some dimension. You also could use foam tape or fun foam. I like to have, for the most part, this is how I do it, I like to have that solid color. So now that solid color all the way through by using the same color paper is what I mean. Now that that is done, I will be stamping my sentiments. And on the cute little year 9 stamp set for this taco, in it says, let's taco about your birthday. So that's why I'm using the die cuts to spell out taco. And so I will be stamping the sentiment, and I will be cutting out let's, then the word bout, and then the sentiment your birthday. And you will see how that's coming together. I am stamping that on ebony black cardstock. No, excuse me, I'm wrong. Licorice cardstock from Lawn Fawn. I'm using some white embossing powder. I'm going to heat that through till it melts, and then I'm going to trim out my sentiments. I will be attaching those with foam tape onto the card, so that will also have some dimension. But once this is done, take a rag or a paper towel, dry, not wet, and just buff off your dark cardstock, because I did prep it with an anti-static tool beforehand, and so it leaves all that dust on there. So just gently buff that off, and then your cardstock looks nice and dark again. So here I'm just using my paper trimmer and trimming out the sentiment. The let's taco bout sentiment is 1 full sentiment, and I need to chop out the word taco because I won't be using that. And so I'm just trimming those little pieces out. So we have the let's and the word bout. So I have already glued down my, no, I have not glued down my tacos yet. I apologize. I'm using my T ruler and lining up, I have my card lined up on my grid. I have my T ruler underneath it, and I'm lining up my letters right to the bottom of that. Normally I'm a person who eyeballs things, but there's just no way I would get this straight. So here comes the T ruler to the rescue. A little bit of liquid glue, using my tweezers and just holding that down and just pushing it up against the ruler. Now that that is done, I did glue down my tacos. I glued the candles behind them. The front taco is popped up with some foam tape. Now I'm adding these cute little party hats that we colored earlier to the top of each letter in the word taco, which I thought would just be super, super fun. And who wouldn't want their birthday tacos? Like having your candle in your taco would be fabulous. And now here are the sentiments. So let's talk about your birthday. I think this is just a really playful sentiment. Now I'm adding some sparkle to the candle flames using Ranger's Diamond Stickles. Then I'm going to be adding some liquid pearls in matching colors of the ink, and it's going to be going at a diagonal. So I'm starting here at the bottom with coral, then I'm going to work up to pumpkin, lemon chiffon, garden, and robin's egg. Again, I'm going at a diagonal, just kind of adding them to the same color of ink striped part of the paper. Even if they overlap a little, that I don't mind. You definitely want to let the liquid pearls and the diamond stickles to dry overnight before you try to stick this card into an envelope or anything like that. So I'm using the green, which is garden. And I love liquid pearls because it's got this pearlescent to it, hence the name liquid pearls. Really is super pretty. And I'm going to finish here with robin's egg. And that card is done. Isn't that really just a super fun, playful card? And who would not love to get birthday tacos? I mean, come on, seriously. All right, guys, let's go on to this next die. Again, here are the uppercase letters essential alphabet dies. I have cut them out in essentially rainbow order with a little twist of what color cardstocks I had. The cardstocks that I used were from the Stamp Market, the Color Crush Collection #1. And this base that I'm using, again, is the Stitched Scallops 2-in-1 Slimline Essential Dies. This is what I showed you at the beginning of the video, and this is in a white cardstock, and I die cut that out. I am taking my Slimline card base itself and doing a little bit of inking, and I'm using the Distress Oxide ink in Cracked Pistachio. Really, I'm only worried a bit about getting it around the edges because once we have that center panel in, you're not going to see the inside, so I do not need to ink the whole thing. I just was kind of cleaning up as I was going, being that this is the card base. I did not want to get ink all over the back of my card base. So I'm using Tailored Expressions blender brushes. These things are fabulous. They ink up so, so nice. This little cute rainbow is from Lawn Fawn's Rain or Shine Before and Afters Stamp and Die. And this card has the rainbow feel to it, so I did want to have a little rainbow, and I'm doing some Copic coloring. I am using R24, 39, and 46, YR09, 04, and 15, Y38, 11, and 19, B16, 26, and 04, G28, 07, and YG25 and BG10. The BG10 is like a little turquoise color, and I did that for the clouds. You also could use a really light gray color for your clouds. I just did a little bit of outlining around each cloud. That gives it a little bit of color. Again, I like the blue, but you definitely could use gray. So I'm just adding my Copic markers to this. I will use the coordinating die to cut this out. This is really a super simple card, but so, so colorful. And I think that's what makes this card so much fun, is all the different colors. So I'm going to finish coloring the sun here. I'm laying down my lighter yellow, coming in with my medium color, a little bit of dark for shadowing, and then blending out again with my lighter color. So here is, again, the larger frame. Here is that smaller portion that I die cut at the beginning of this video. You can see how that fits in there. And I'm going to leave this white because I want all my colored letters to pop. My word that I have die cut is the word sunshine. It matches with the Lawn Fawn's Rain or Shine Before and Afters. One of the sentiments is in there, I think it says sending you sunshine. So I am going to have this whole card say sending sunshine. Now I am using my T ruler again, and I am lining this up in the center because that rainbow is going to be the picture in the center. So I'm lining it up. I am gluing down the top letters right above the T ruler, the bottom letters right up against the top part of the T ruler, as you can see here. Then the other letters I can just easily eyeball straight underneath those letters because those letters were guided again by the T ruler and everything was nice and straight. Now I will say I should have scooched my eye over a little bit and a little more centered. It still turned out fine. So here now I'm going to line this up. Now that I have the H all lined up straight, now I can glue my N down. I'm going to do the same thing with the E. I'm just using my tweezers and a little bit of liquid glue and just lining that up, making sure all the spacing is good, everything is lined up on the top and the bottom. I will finish doing that at the top as well for the S and the U. I just laid everything out before I glued it down, eyeballed everything, generally, and then glued everything down. Now here are these fun frames that I showed you in the other video, and I'm going to use those. Each letter has its own color. I'm going to put that down, but I thought something that would be fun if you die cut a whole other set of letters again and alternated the colors. That would be really a fun card too. But I didn't have time for that, and I already had all of these die cuts, so I just am going to glue those down. A tiny bit of liquid glue and tweezers are fantastic, but it really changes the way these letter dies look. And I do have to say, I love these slimline cards with letter alphabet dies because you can get a really big word on a card that you can't normally get on an A2 size card. So now I am stamping out my sentiment. I am masking off the second half of the sentiment because I only need the word sending. So I masked that off with some low tack tape, stamped it on my cardstock, and I trimmed it out. I'm going to cut the little flag ends on each side, and I will be gluing this over part of that rainbow. That rainbow is glued in the center with foam tape, 4-dimension. It's a tad bit taller than the letters, but not by much because those letters, again, were glued 3 together. Like I did in the previous card, I like that 4-dimension. You get that solid color all the way through. Another cute idea for this card, being that it's rainbow, is gluing different colors of letters together, and you would see that from the side. Really a lot of fun. I did that on a project for Cardstock Warehouse, actually. I am coming in with some glossy accents and adding that to the rainbow and the sun. I did not add it to the clouds, but I wanted the rainbow and the sun to be nice and shiny. You could do this before you add your sentiment and then just gently put your sentiment into it and it would dry like that, but I just worked around it. Cleaning up the edges with my Tool-in-One from Spellbinders. Adding a little bit of stars. This is SpiegelMom's Gold Stardust. Adding a few of those around, adding a little bit in the rainbow, one on the cloud, and some on these letters. And you can just see this card is so bright and so fun. Using my jewel picker to pick those up with a little bit of liquid glue and just adding them in and around. Isn't that really a great card? Thank you guys so much for hopping along for this new release for Kraftgali. Definitely leave comments for a chance to win a gift card. Check out Instagram tomorrow because we will have some more inspiration and we're doing an Instagram hop tomorrow. Start with @Kraftgali. Thank you guys again so very much for all of your support. If you like what you've seen, please subscribe to my channel, thumbs up, comment, share. I do have some affiliate links below. It costs you nothing, but it does continue to help me. And I also have all the supplies that I use listed and linked below. So definitely check those out. Thank you guys again, and I'll see you soon. Bye.